that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for more of the Gencon Bonanza Explosion Blowout coverage here live at Gencon 2023. Well, actually, that's not true. I am 2 hours north of Gencon, which just ended about 5 to 6 hours ago. I drove back home, spent time with the family, did some dishes, and now I got all these games right here. I'm going to show them to you and talk a little bit about the convention itself. So we'll just start with this one right here at the top. I got Sports Dice Hockey, Shoot the Puck and Score. This is for 2+ players, ages 7 plus. Take you 15 minutes to play. This is actually part of a series. There's the Sports Dice Football, Sports Dice Soccer, Sports Dice Baseball. I've enjoyed all of them that I've played. There's some really interesting games that come out for FunWiz. It is super dirt simple. Like, you can literally learn how to play the game in like 5 minutes or less. Fun little dice chucker. Highly recommend this series if you're looking for a nice, light little dice chucker. Goes especially well with kids. I used to play the other games in the series a lot with my classroom. But if you have a kid that likes hockey, it's definitely one you might want to check out. Next, we have Uno Dare, adults only, from Mattel. So this one I'm actually a little bit excited about. And you're like, wow, well, really? This is one you're excited about, Power? That's because this is potentially me starting to really have a foot in the door, potentially over at Mattel, and just to be able to talk to them. Because I got these as review copies, and I was just like, hey, I've done a lot of content for you guys, like how to play videos and stuff like that in the past. And I'm just curious to get some. She's like, oh, yeah. And I talked to some fancy lady higher up, and then she flew back to Europe a day later. And yes, it's all very real because, I don't know, it's cool. But yeah, it's Uno, but with like Truth or Dare. I actually saw some people playing it in the press room, and it was really awkward. It was so good. Like, this is all like spicy adults only kind of questions, most of them, and they were playing it in the middle of the press room at Gen Con, and it was just interesting. It was just fun being a fly on the wall doing my work, and then being like, oh yeah, which one of you would be X-rated? Huh? It's good times. Okay, next we got Ahoy Kitten. This one's his new one from Mayday Games and from Broadway, who is a distributor. Well, I got their card. Actually, I think I made a good impression on them. They have a whole bunch of games that they had that were released at Gen Con, and I'm curious to see. They're working with different companies as well, so I don't know exactly how it's working, but this is Ahoy Kitten. I'm excited. I generally like Mayday Games. 2 to 6 players, ages 8 plus 15 minutes. That is my bread and butter right there. All players point to the ocean tile they want to go to at the same tile. If you're the only player pointing to the ocean tile, you get all the fresh fish there. Okay, so sounds fun. Cool. Let's go. Uno house rules. Yes, this is the last time we will see Uno in this pile. I know it's a shocker. This is just another new Uno, so I'll make a video on it, and we'll start making those sweet, sweet nickels. This one I'm actually kind of excited about. So I tried to be really conservative with the games I take at Gen Con, because I'll be blunt honest with you. There's a lot of games, a lot of review copies that I have. Many I'm looking, like I just turned to one shelf over there, and I saw 4 of them staring me at the face that just, they never got made. Review copies never. Now, I technically, I've never gotten rid of the game, and I still plan on making a video at some time in the future, but sometimes it just happens. It's actually, I think, one of the small reasons why I think a lot of reviewers burn out. Like, they get these pile of games, and they're like, I don't want to look these people in the face. And it's, but yeah, where am I going with this, Bauer? So I was trying to be a little bit more selective with the games I took at Gen Con, so I wouldn't have that feeling, because I've had just entire, like, a minivan size, that's a terrible consideration, probably like 100 games that I've taken before, where it's like, probably 2 years that I really did this, where it's like, your haul is just so massive and impressive, and then if you don't make the content, it's rough. It's rough. It's just rough feeling. You don't want to be that person. I've been that person. Let me tell you. So I tried to be really selective what I took, which is why I'm really excited to play Deadlines. I guess that's what I'm getting at here. It looked like the trivia game of a lifetime, including more than 200 characters to sort in order of their birth, death, and lifespan. So it looked like it kind of took like timelines a little bit, but made it about celebrities and when they died. And it just looked like a really interesting, fun little party game. And also, one thing that I always look for with a game, now when I'm trying to be selective, is will I be able to get this to the table? And this seems just like a no-brainer, like first game of the night style game for game night. And it's for 1 to 10 players, 20 minutes to play. Really excited for this one. Deadlines. I think it's a really cool idea. Just keep it on the Foxmine train. Love me some Foxmine games. If you have kids, you don't have any Foxmine games, go check out some of theirs. They're very quality, most of them that I've played. Hansel and Gretel. And this one is also Cinderella. So these are going to be I think they have the same artist, but yeah. So this one's the ages 6+. This one looks really cool. It's got like this 3D gingerbread house that you're going to construct. And let's see. Select a candy tile and connect it to the grid. Move the pawns of Hansel, Gretel, and Baby Baguette. Collect 5 gingerbread tokens to win. It does math, cooperation, and observation. This is interesting. They got these little things on the back that it says, cool. I'm excited for this one. They had it set up. It looked good. Cinderella. This one actually has like a really large clock on the back. It's cool. And it's ages 4+. 20 minutes to play, 1 to 4 minutes. I'm thinking about doing a how to play on this one because I was like, my son's a little old for this one, but I want to get into more gamey how to play videos, and it's really hard to do stuff. Like, it's really hard to make a how to play video. Like, if you like, that's why a lot of content creators don't do it, because it's really hard. When you make a mistake, it defeats the whole purpose of the video. Like, you have to try and be perfect. Anywho. I'll tell you what, I'm a little bit loopy right now. It's this weekend was very long, very exhausting, very fun though. It definitely felt like Gen Con was back pre-COVID years popularity-wise. It was so many people, and Gen Con crushed it though. They accommodated very well, I think, except for Lorcana. But that's on Ravensburger. I think. If you were a party game, this is another one from Mattel Games. I got 3 games from them. This one is a ask ridiculous questions, point fingers, be in the majority shamelessly brag. A little fun fact on this one, I actually was thinking about trying to do a how to play video, straight up, like a real how to play video, not like a rules overview, but like a this is how to play style video on this in the press room at Gen Con. It didn't work out. So I got one anyway, so I'll make one of those hopefully this week, because if that becomes a really popular party game and I have the first how to play video on it, it's good stuff. Now, this is a company that I'm really excited for the future of what they have. I wish I had their sell sheet. This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from Trick or Treat Studios. And they did a game I have back here from last year where you shot zombies with like this rubber band. It was really cool. It was a really neat game. But this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre board game, and this is a, I believe, 1 versus all, 1 to 4 player, 60-minute game. And so I'm excited to play this one, in particular solo. So you can definitely expect to see a solo one of this coming out soon. And there was actually 2 Texas Chainsaw Massacre games out. I guess there's one from Funko Games and Prospero Hall, who I actually didn't have a meeting with this year. But look at this bag. It's like such a like it's a cool bag. Nice little touch. Gets me excited. Smells very good as well. It's a very good smelling bag. All right. Continuing on. We have the Duck Game. This one's from Haba. They got a new it's not new, but they've had quite a few games this is their new game in the ages 2+ line, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. And I have a 1.5-year-old, so needless to say, I was going to pick this up, even if they didn't give me a review copy. And that's one thing you're probably wondering about as well. So I will say to you that every single thing that you have seen so far has been a review copy. I have not purchased any of them. Because, people just want to know that. Like, how much do you pay? So, because it is, let's just talk about it. Most of the time, it's them just giving me a review copy if I ask for it. That's typically how it would work. Sometimes they'll just ask me in advance, and the more subscribers that I get, the more likely that is, whether it's like, oh yeah, it's just a foregone conclusion. We would like you to have one of these before you leave the booth, with hoping that you'll enjoy it and make a videos on it. And then sometimes it will be, we don't have review copies, but we can give you a discounted rate sort of deal. And then sometimes it will be just, you can just buy it like you would normally do. So those are but I would say most of the time, well, I'm also cheap, so it's weird. But yeah, those are typically how it works most of the time when you go to a convention and you're a content creator and you talk at an exhibitor with someone. All right, so boom. Got really cool, chunky wooden pieces. I don't know why I decided to unbox this one and none of the other ones. I guess because it's already open and it has a cute little duck. I mean, come on. All right, continuing onward. Next, we have, I want to talk a little bit about this too, because this is just me kind of shining this, talking about behind the scenes sort of stuff. This is Robo Rally from Renegade Games Studio. Now, they are working with Hasbro, who also happens to own Wizards of the Coast. If none of that means anything to you, that just means that they have the potential to get some really, really big games and print them. So Renegade Game Studios didn't used to have Robo Rally. Now they do have Robo Rally, and they have like this really super nice version of it. And they had a press meeting. This is where I was going with it. Because one of the other things you'll do as a content creator, so I'll unbox this as I do a little story here, is you go to a lot of press meetings. I think I probably had maybe like seven-ish this time, maybe? Sometimes yeah. So, and they're all different. How every company does it is different. One of them was, it was actually cool, one of them was in a suite at Lucas Oil Stadium where the Indianapolis Colts play, the NFL team. And they were using like a suite, like one of those fancy boxes that people go into when they have a lot of money or their company does. Yeah, check out these really nice looking minis on this Robo Rally here. One of them was in a hotel, and they just had a big room they rented, and we watched like a 15-minute video of their stuff. That one was actually AEG. We're going to talk about some of their games later. But every company does theirs a little bit different, and I gotta say, kudos to Renegade Games. It wasn't a press media night. Actually, I think it was. I think it was some sort of night. Never mind. Kudos to what they did this year. They had a big press meeting, and I want to be very careful because I don't want to reveal. And they showed pretty much the media, and there was probably like 15, 20, 30 of us in there. We watched this like pretty lengthy PowerPoint, and they talked about all their biggest projects, all the biggest things they have coming out this year, and all the way up until next year's Gen Con. Like, they were like, this is the thing that's probably going to be our big game next year for Gen Con. We're just hoping that we're putting trust in you not revealing this to anybody. Like, they just laid out everything. And why they were doing that was because they were saying, this is what's going to happen, and you can cover this game specifically, or this game specifically. I think it would fit your audience, and it potentially is going to be something that's going to gain you a lot of subscribers because we're going to be doing big things with these titles that we have. And they just laid it all on the table, and as part of the media press meeting, they were actually like suggesting who might want to cover specific things or why we would want to cover these things, because they also have a really cool program that I need to sign up for, which is why this might even have a link down below. If you go buy Robo Rally, it's what is it? They've been doing it forever in a lot of other things. With the links down below, the associate links. That's what it is. I bought an Amazon one down below, where essentially, if you make content for the game, you can put the link down below to go buy that game, and then you get a percentage of that. You're essentially like a salesperson, which I'm now saying that out loud, I can see why some people don't like that, because you're going to get the people, ooh, that's interesting. But anyway, they had a fantastic press meeting, and they have a lot of really exciting stuff coming out. Like, my thoughts on Renegade Game Studios really are just going up after this meeting. It was so good. And they got some kick-butt stuff coming out. And so, yeah, I'm actually going to be covering Robo Rally. And probably a good deal of it, I guess, because they also got me Robo Rally Wet and Wild and Robo Rally Chaos and Carnage. And then they told me that, oh, yeah, next year there's going to be this amazing Robo Rally crossover that's going to just blow everybody's mind. And, yeah, so you might want to cover Robo Rally now because it's going to get big. And I was like, whoa, I should cover Robo Rally. But yeah, so Renegade Game Studios, really cool press meeting. Not to say the other ones weren't cool, they just were different. Anywho, next we have our first of AEG games. I also went to their press meeting, and pretty much what it was everybody just walked out with a bag, big AEG bag, full of games, in addition to sitting through, like what we're doing, exactly what's coming up and what's planned, and just hyped videos for their upcoming Kickstarters and stuff like that. And that was awesome too. Like, it's exciting to see, and it's just different. All right, so Waffle Time AEG. I honestly don't know much about this one. I didn't think it looked particularly exciting when I got to that part of the video. So I just kind of zoned out a little bit. I was also very tired that day. It was in mid 5.5 hour live stream because I wasn't expecting to live stream that long. It was like, oh, surely the Wi-Fi will go out when I start going into the middle of Lucas Oil Stadium, and it didn't go out. And then I was like, oh, surely the people at Rock Banner Games, when I go to this press meeting, won't want me to record. They're like, no, you can record whatever. And I was like, okay. And then I got into AEG, so I was actually fumbling with a camera, live streaming. But yeah, this is a long-winded way of saying that, hey, I'm sure Waffle Time's going to be great. I wasn't excited for it when I watched the video. But it is 1 to 4 players, ages 10 plus, which is right up my son's alley. So, still, I do want to mention, none of these were paid for. It was all review copies so far. Next, we have Point City. This is the follow-up to Point Salad, which, still on the shelf. Love it. I have no doubt in my mind this is one that's going to be very easy to get played. Does it have solo? Oh, it does have solo. Oh, I might play this one tomorrow. Yeah, very excited for this one, just because I love the first one. Continuing on, we have Smash Up expansion. Excellent movies, dudes. And yeah, I have Smash Up there. I have Disney Edition, so we're going to have the Disney Edition, and we're going to have the Excellent Movies, dude. And it has Ghostbusters, RoboCop, I think it was Aliens, maybe. It was really cool. And then the Karate Kid, I think was the other one. And it's more Smash Up, and I like Smash Up. So yes, I'm excited for it. It's also my first Smash Up expansion that I've ever gotten. Because I never bought it. It was just review copies. Oh, we are getting to the first game that I bought. The first game that I played, and I thought was so good that I went to their booth, and I was like, I think this is really good. I would like a review copy, if possible. And actually, I already shot a gameplay video of it. That's how much we like it. We played it in the media press room. But, yeah, we'll get to that next. So, next one we got Deep Dive. I don't know much about this one. I watched the video. I thought it looked pretty cool. 15 to 20 minutes, 1 to 6 players. Boom, done, sold. Filler weight game. We play with both my sons. Excellent. Next we have Number Drop. This one looked really cool. It had like a Tetris-y vibe, but it's a roll and write style game. This one actually really caught my attention in the video, so I'm excited to play this one. Number Drop. Looks pretty cool, and I dig roll and writes. But let's get to the first one of only, I think, 2 games maybe I paid for. Just because I have so much to review as it is, you know. It's like I have, you know, I got Game Over. It's everywhere. It's all encompassing. So unless I'm buying children's games, I normally don't buy something, which should tell you how excited I am for Infiltrators from, once again, the company Broadway, that also worked with Renegade Games to do Ahoy Kitten. And they also had like a big box game called Amon Ray, and they had another small box game that looked really interesting. It was like this game where you wrote on like a clear plastic sheet. It had really interesting components. And these wooden cards, the cards were so interesting. Yeah, I'm going to post it. I don't think we did an unboxing of those. Anywho, this is called Infiltrators. I am really excited to dig into this game. It's 2 to 5 players, 20 to 30 minutes to play, ages 8 plus. And it's a really simple deduction game where essentially it's like, all right, we have 7 cards in the middle here out of the deck. And we have to deduce what cards are going to be in front of everyone at the table. It's all completely cooperative. And you're going to deduce what card is in front of someone by either giving yourself... So it's really hard to explain. I just shot a gameplay video of it. I'm also very tired. This is one... But the big aspect that attracted me to this game, like that doesn't sound that intriguing, is it the gun? The gun is really cool, I will say. It's a really neat component. Like that's... It looks like a real gun, almost. You know, I mean, it doesn't look like a real gun, but I mean... A lot of times they try and make guns so not look like a real gun that I think it just makes when... I don't know. Anywho, it's got a crew aspect to it, which is really cool, where essentially you're going to play this game over and over and over again. It's going to get progressively more difficult. I think there was 20 missions you go on, and I like the core gameplay loop. And and the big thing with this is it made my brain feel weird when I was playing. Like, where... You know, sometimes there's just games where you're like, oh, wow, this makes me just think differently than I normally think when I'm playing games. This one does it, and I'm excited to play it more. And that was $20. So, next we got 2 more from Trick or Treat Games, who was with the aforementioned Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They got a lot of cool upcoming games to talk about. They had like Chucky game coming up. They're reprinting Scoville. I think you said with the expansions in it or something like that. So really excited for what they got going in the future there. But this is Halloween Party. This one is a Bruno Feduti card game they're reprinting. I don't know nothing about it. It's 3 to 5 players, 15 to 30 minutes to play, ages 8 plus. But I love Bruno Feduti. He's like one of my favorite game designers. He's on my Mount Rushmore if I had to pick. Favorite 4. And then Tricks and Treats from Emerson Matsuki. Also another guy who might be on my Mount Rushmore. Personally, it's close. I gotta try that Metal Gear Solid game when it comes out. Really excited, but this is a really fun little, just a little card game. I remember playing a Game Crafter version of it and enjoying it so much that I kept it. So I'd play it with my son when he got a little bit older. Nothing like amazing, but just fun. And this is Broadway. Yeah, so this is their catalog. They gave it to me, and I guess they just, I don't know what they do. Because they have a lot of like really popular games. I think they just print them in all these different languages. Adam was trying to figure it out. Because there's like tons of games in here that you're like, oh wow, that's you. Like you're doing Catan somewhere. You're doing, Rise of Queensdale. Yeah. So a company that might keep your eyes on. I got a couple more over here. Next, I got one little personal touch on this one. This is not a new hot game by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still hot, I think. But that's After the Empire from Gray Fox Games. So normally, when I get review copies, it's because games are like new or upcoming, like that sort of thing. This one's actually a year or so old. But the reason why that I was really excited, and I actually asked specifically Lance of Gray Fox Games for a review copy of this, was because it's designed by my friend Evan Halbert, along with Ryan Mock, who joins the weekly Alaboom podcast. So, want to check it out, show some love to it. Hopefully, get a gameplay video up of this one because I also think it looks amazing and it looks right up my alley. It looks like a super cool game, but that's why there's one game that's noticeably older than all the other games. It's because I specifically was like, all right, I was curious. All right. And in case you're wondering, I'll be bluntly honest with you. I asked, and he would have said no, you have to buy it. I would have said, I probably would have said no. Just to be blunt honest here. I like to be honest here because it's like it's $100. Like I think it's $90. It's an expensive game. Now this game, I think, is one that I think was woefully. There was not enough buzz about this game, and that is Captain Pepe Treasure Ahoy from Haba Games. And it is a children's legacy game. Like, there you go. It's a cooperative legacy-style game for ages 6+, for $50. Done. Right? I didn't feel like they really shouted that from the rooftops, because I think this was the crowd to do it to. Like, if you're going to tout that you're a legacy game, it's not impressive when you see it at Target because you might not even know what it means. But if you're in like the board game inner circle, when someone says it's a legacy game, that's a big deal. So I feel like they should have shouted it out just a little bit more. I know they put it on the side of their bag, but like when I went to their booth, it didn't feel like it was anything special. I just felt like it was just that game that was there. Now, granted, I haven't played it at all, but it's got like a little sand timer in the middle, and you got chunky pirates, and they're animated. But the big cool thing with this. And yeah, I use my teeth. And I want to show it to you, is that it has these really cool treasure chests, because it's a legacy game, that you'll get to open as you progress through the game, along with, just awesome Haba components. And yeah, this was one that I would have bought, because I totally went over there, and I was like, hey, I'm really interested in this. You guys do any review copies? If not, I'll buy it. And they did a review copy of Captain Pepe, Treasure Ahoy, and a review copy of the Duck game. And then I also just bought, because he was like, all right, you can buy that one. I was like, okay. And this was The Key, Sabotage at Lucky Llama Land. This one, I believe, was $30. And I got really excited about this because this is like, I think, like an escape style game, maybe? I don't know what. It's like a deduction game, but it's for ages 8+. And my 7-year-old really wants to get and do something like this, so this one just kind of screamed out to me. And also because I thought it was a really cool idea because they had 2 other games in the series. One which was, I think, ages 10+, and one that was, I think, ages 12+. So it's like they were trying to kind of scale it up for like whatever age family you had at that time. So I thought that was a cool idea. And plus, yeah. So there's that's what I paid for, $30. We have promo cards for one of the games. I don't remember what it was. And the last game. Ooh, this is a hot thing. It's a hot buzz game. Hot buzz game alert. Do the hot buzz game alert drink. Yeah, there it was. There's the drink. Spacecraft from Grana, but this one is coming out from, I think, Imperial Publishing. I think that was it. This is for 2 to 4 players, 30 to 60 minutes. It's for ages 10+. Might be Mayday Games. I'm not sure which one of them was. But this is one that they're bringing over, and apparently it's pretty dang good, and I'm excited to try it out. Four mad scientists are rummaging through the city's junkyard. They're determined to see which of them is the best rocket designer. The task is not easy, and the materials are limited. Who will be the first to launch their innovative rocket into space? I don't know. Get this one played, get game night. Get a thoughts from the corner out of it pretty soon. I think he said it was something akin, like it had a feel to like Galaxy Trucker, maybe, which I know is a lot of people's really big cup of tea. So stay tuned for content on that. Those are the games that I got at Gen Con 2023. It was an awesome convention. It was a tiring convention. I didn't get in better shape, but it was cool. We actually, it shouldn't have been nearly as tiring, but we had we had to stay, and this it's gonna sound like, oh, we had to stay like a 14-minute walk from the convention center, as opposed to where we were, which is like a 3-minute walk. And it makes a difference. It really does make a difference, because when it's that short walk, you can just go back and forth and like drop things off. And when you don't, it's like, all right, I'm going to carry this. Then you're awkward. It's uncomfortable, and get poked with it. And it makes a big difference. That's one of the things about like accepting a review copy. Like, what do you do with this if your hotel room is 14 minutes away? You know, and luckily, actually, the press room had like a thing where it's like, all right, you can leave some stuff here, you know, and it's, you know, cool. Just as long as you're not like abusing the system or something like that. And so that was an option that we could have done. I never took them up on that. I probably should. Hard stop, because the press room was amazing. And I think they're actually trying to get a larger press room in there, because the press room was really spectacular. They had so what they did pretty much was they'd reach out to all the booths and they'd say, hey, do you want us to put anything in the press room to show off? Because these will be in the hands of press people who could potentially do content with them. Like, I played this. There is a gameplay up on Board Game Geek right now of me playing this with Adam in the press room as people around us talked and ate lunch and, you know, live streamed and did a bunch of other stuff. And the press room was amazing. Really cool. But there you go. That's my Gen Con haul for 2023. Let me know what you think about it. Which one of these games, if you could pick one of these, boom, take it, put it in your collection. Which one would you do? And as always, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below, as I'm trying to reach 17,000 subscribers in 2023 to make it my biggest year ever. Bye-bye. This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.